Hey, what's up, everyone? So, I wanted to share an insight that I have been rediscovering a lot lately, and it deals with communicating emotions. And it's something that I've never been good at, and I've had a lot of reasons as to why that's been a problem for me. But the key point is for everyone else to understand how to say what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, and to avoid letting that get built up. Because I think it's very difficult to let things just be brushed aside and to just not bottle things for a lot of people. I think that very often when there's communication gaps between two people, someone says one thing and the other person interprets it a different way and maybe negatively. And even if on the surface it seems kind of negative, the person who said it might not have meant it to be negative. And in that case, they might need a correction about how to say something better, how to communicate better. But I think there is a big trend with people bottling how they really feel about something or bottling what it is that they're interpreting what someone else is saying and then letting that build up. And I've definitely been guilty of that far too many times, and that's led to really, really bad consequences in my relationships. And I think that to overcome this, the best way means to state exactly what it is you're doing when you tell someone your emotions and just explain and your responses, and to open up the discourse, to have actual two-way communication about what it is that each person is trying to express to each other. And if you don't do this, from what I've seen, you just tend to have people that over time start to have anger toward each other, start to feel bitterness, start to feel like someone is putting them in a light that they really don't appreciate. And it will go both ways. You might have to receive some feedback about what you're saying to somebody, and they might feel like you're saying something in a mean way. You might have to be able to have the courage to explain how you're feeling, and the fear with that might be that that you're rejected with what somebody says. But I think that at the end, it is so much better to explain things than to let it build up, because if you let it build up, then you don't have the communication fixed, and you're spending a lot of time on wrong, potentially, bases. And that can lead to a lot of internal suffering and pain, bad communications, and things just getting destroyed because it's just built up, and then it's just, too late, and that someone maybe takes a drastic action. So I'm just encouraging that thought process that if somebody says something to you, who's closer to you, friends, family, stuff like that, and you're like, wow, it really hurts, or why did you say that about me? Go ahead and explain what it is. State back, hey, you said this to me, and I felt like you're saying that I'm this or that, and they might respond back in a good manner, which is, oh, this is what I meant to say with this. I don't mean this about you at all. Or they might respond back defensively, which would be wrong, because if they respond back like defensively, like, oh my gosh, why are you saying this about me? Like, how dare you think that? Well, that's not going to help the relationship. And then you explain, no, I'm not. I'm trying to open up the communication because I think I'm understanding something that you're saying in a light that is either wrong, or maybe I'm misinterpreting something, or maybe it is just like, this really hurts me, and I haven't been enjoying it. It's tough. It's a lot tougher to do than people realize, and I think that the suffocation comes. I think it comes very often rooted from maybe parents that didn't want to listen to you or accept you for your thoughts or ideas or be open to communication. It can come from society, mass media, that's being poorly modeled for a person if they didn't have friends or teachers who did that, if they saw things on TV as people like thinking it's funny to bottle stuff up or to put other people down, like that's cute, which is actually a very big motif in TV these days. The intellectual humor is very low, and the sarcastic, biting, be mean, bring people down humor is very high. So I think that has definitely developed a lot of resentment among people. But the point is that it just needs to be overcome. And This is especially hard if you're a rational person. This is especially hard if you're a person who's like a go-getter, outgoing person like me. I think that's when it's the hardest to do. Because you're always so focused on the future and forward, and you don't want to look back, and you don't want to address your hurts. You want to just, just keep moving. But in order to move forward and not have things blow up in your face or be self-destructive or have poor constructs and opinions that people might have about each other, you need to open that door and need to try to work with someone to open that door further and help. If they don't understand what that means, I'd help them communicate what it means to say, this is what you said and this is how it made me feel. And feelings can suck, but it doesn't mean that they don't have to be totally taken away from like the logical side part of things. It just needs to be fleshed out. It needs to be clearly stated, and the miscommunication needs to be cleared up that way if you want good, healthy, long-term oriented relationships. Hope that helps, and I'll talk to you later.